Well, I'm the lecturer and coordinator for the School of Media and Communication at the Western Jamaica campus of Caramel. Fortunately, we have been ahead of the curve as it relates to online teaching and learning. And so the only thing that really changed during this time is the mental state of the students, because they were already aware of the platforms. They are already used to using the platforms. And so in this time, for my courses, I've had to readjust the sessions to incorporate a bit of emotional or emotive learning, essentially understanding that emotions can have an impact on learning, and learning in this climate can have an impact on the emotions. So the classes now start with everyone giving a presentation, essentially how they feel, how they've been coping every single time we have class. If they want to turn on their mics or their cameras to speak on it, or if they want to type it out, whatever way that makes them feel comfortable. I've had to set emotional objectives for each session, as in what do I want them to feel at the end of the session, in addition to whatever learning outcome. Do I want them to feel motivated? Do I want them to feel calm? Do I want them to feel excited? Because that essentially is going to have an impact on what they remember from the session. They remember how they feel, and linking that feeling to a particular lecture, a particular set of knowledge and information. So those are the things I've been doing. They are more the teachers now than before, because now they feel far more comfortable to talk about how they feel and link their feelings to the presentation. So in addition to what they would have had to present on. So for example, we looked at semiotics and social codes, and the presentation they had to give was, how has COVID changed the social codes in Jamaica before and after? So the things we used to do in terms of gestures and communication, how has that changed during this time? And housing the lecture in that time, in that type of in that way, because it's really about balancing, acknowledging that we're going through something tough, but also making them feel confident that as it relates to their teaching and as it relates to their learning, that we are still on course and on track with that. I think it's also part of what I've been doing is also letting lecturers know that it's not the same. You can't put your camera on and assume that people are going to sit and listen to you for 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's not, that's, and I've been trying to get the university since 2013 to acknowledge that we need to start looking at tutorials as, instead of streams, looking at the different ways people learn and divide the streams like that. Whether it's auditory, I'm an auditory listener, I listen. I may not be looking at the lecturer or paying attention because I'm also a student. Finishing up the PhD. I may not be seeing, but I need to hear in order to remember. Some people are visual. Some people, they need to learn by activities. And we need, and this time more than ever, I think we need to start looking at how people learn and create lessons plan based on how they learn. And for the ones who feel like it's too much, then you should not be here. That's me speaking frankly, because it's really about adaptability, and we can't be rigid while the students adapt and the environment changes. And so these are the things that we as a school have been considering putting in place. So in that way, even if COVID and the way or the physical interaction that we're used to never comes back, it might sound doomsday, but even if it never comes back, teaching still continues. If it does come back, teaching still continues. And I no longer make the online learning, physical learning dichotomy anymore. Learning is learning, and we adjust the environments, because it's not the platform, it's the people. And once we focus on the people, then the platforms are really an extension of us. and how we learn. For example, the platform is least important once you have people in mind. This morning, in the middle of the lecture, JPS struck, you know, and and in my mind, I was like, okay. So I called the class rep and I said, all right, maybe we can pick it up another time, right? And she was like, no, sir, the Blackboard collaborator is still going. You are the only one that's missing. Call in and listen to the presentations by the phone. So they are presenting, Blackboard is still recording, and I am listening over the telephone and conveying the instructions. Because as I said, once the people are in tune, then the platform doesn't matter, right? One person wasn't able to present. I said, just send a voice note via WhatsApp. I'm gonna grade that. All of the conventions that we used to subscribe to. This has made us realize that 9 out of 10 of these things don't matter when it comes to learning and teaching in a way that really connects with people. So my experience has been good. The students, if I were to speak for them, I would say it has also been good, because even before this, I usually ask them how they want to be tested, because when we look at Bloom's taxonomy, there are different things to measure, and there are also different ways to test people. So whatever way makes you feel comfortable, then that's the way we're going to test you. And we usually break it down in different ways, so everyone has a benefit. And this is now the instructions we are now giving students: is the most comfortable way to learn, do it. You sit in your living room. If your living room is comfortable, sit in your living room. If you're sitting on your bed, wherever is comfortable, that is it. And so I think this is allowing us to realize, as I said, that
It's
people learn in
allowing
different
for,
ways, and the line is that however they learn, we need to meet them there. Yes.
so it for the people who are listening in on the